I certainly think that we were rusty, especially in regards to just pure racing, right? You know, if you don't do it a lot, you lose a little bit of that kind of zip, you know, when you want to get up and really go. You know, just that idea of, you know, there's somebody from another team next to you and just trying to get your hand to the wall, you know, before they do, or, you know, trying to see what they're doing on the boards and trying to, you know, dive better and kind of eke out some points here or there, things like that. You know, I think that there was certainly some rust. I think that overall, the attitudes were good, and the effort level was where I wanted it to be. And so kind of regardless of how the meet turned out, that's more of what I was looking for. And I think that we found that, even though maybe the times weren't where they wanted to be. You know, we were very fatigued. You know, like I've said before, trying to go fast, you know, an hour after being on a bus for a little over 4 hours is hard. You know, we left real early Saturday morning. You know, not a lot of warm down space at that facility. So, you know, we kind of do the best we can, but it was definitely a situation where I put them in an uncomfortable situation and they had to respond to it. And, you know, Geneseo is a really good team, and they showed up just like they always do. And so it was good to kind of get back into it. I was very pleased with our performances, you know, and it was a lot of fun. You know, at the end of the meet, obviously our women needed to perform a certain way on the last couple events. And, you know, we had Abby, you know, one of our freshman divers, win the last floor on the women's side, and then our 400 free relay on the women's side, winning that, and that secured the victory for the meet for the women, which was awesome. You know, the men, you know, even though we ended up losing the meet, you know, the end of the meet was still exciting for them too, and we came out with a win in the 400 free relay and kind of exciting in an exciting race. So that was fun as well. So we ended on a nice note, but overall, it was about kind of what I expected. You know, but you know, like I said, it's always hard to come back after a long break of not competing.
This past 2 weeks has been like a lot of like hard training because of training trip, and I think going into Geneseo, we were like all really tired and a little bit dead from the 2 weeks of training, and also the 4.5-hour bus ride to get there. But and Geneseo was a pretty good team to go up against, so it was definitely hard, but we pulled through. We saw it was like solid times.
SUNY Geneseo was, I thought, like a great meet to kind of see where we're at. We had our mid-season meet where everyone rested, performed real well back in November, but then we're taking finals, we're on Christmas break, but then we're back here and we had 2 real kind of tough weeks of practice, and it was great to see just how well everyone could perform with being that tired. I mean, we were really pushing ourselves that week before classes started, and then still pushing ourselves with class starting last week. And it was great to see that, like, even like so tired, we're not defeated, especially mentally. And I feel like there's a great attitude around the whole meet, which kind of just carried us through it. And we're hoping to see carry us through into Kenyon, which is going to be a very tough opponent. But we're very excited.
All this like hard work is going to pay off. Like, it may not have paid off this past weekend, like right away, but it's definitely going to pay off in our conference meet, and it was a good chance to race again. And next week Kenyon is definitely they're a very, very fast team, so it'll be cool to race like a very top Division III team, and I'm really excited to have some really good competition and get some fast times for our conference meet.
They're the most successful you know, Division III swimming and diving program, you know, ever. You know, you walk in and you just see their, you know, tons and tons of NCAA championship trophies just kind of lined up, and it's intimidating, right? But it's, you know, their head coach reached out this summer and was like, hey, you know, let's try to throw a meet together. And we used to swim them, and then we kind of got away from it a little bit, and now we're kind of back into it. And looking at what we see in the UAA, right? Arguably some of the other most successful, best Division III swimming programs in the country. And so it gives us an opportunity to go against the best several weeks before we go against some of the other best teams, and so it's always good to see it. I think that, they've got a great facility, so it's a good pool to swim at. It is their senior day, so that'll bring a certain kind of level of enthusiasm, I think, to the meet for them. And, I think that'll be challenging in its own right. I think most teams like to swim really well, and perform well on their senior day. But I think it'll be a good kind of taste of what we'll experience here, a little less than a month from now when we go down to Atlanta. And Ohio Northern, they're not pushovers. They've kind of ticked it back up again here in the last couple of years and have slowly kind of improved. And they've got some really talented athletes, and they're certainly going to come in, and they're probably looking at this meet and be like, okay, we've got Kenyon and we've got Case, and both teams that they would aspire to continue to work towards. So they're going to come in guns blazing as well. So I think that we're gonna have to perform well to show up and to compete in races and things like that. And frankly, kind of at this stage of the game, that's what I want. I want us to compete. I want us to be in those races. I want us to be chucking harder dives, and as we're preparing for that end of the year championship.